eminent domain from ever getting an evaluation if you were any good as an attorney? How long would that, in reality, because we're facing a lot of silly ideas. Let's talk about real law. How long could you defend them and keep it from getting to actual, even an evaluation?
The opening part of an eminent domain case is called a traverse and motion to dismiss, and you could, I believe, on that beautiful, that's a beautiful property there. I think
one last thing, could you also address the go dark clause that makes it certain the owners have no desire whatsoever to keep it vacant because of the go dark clause, and that it's worth about $5 million without an anchor and $30 million with an anchor. So as far as blaming the owners, that's a joke.
Well, that's what I was trying to say before. You're right. They have, go dark means that if the anchor tenant is gone, all the satellite stores have a right to leave, and the owner is going to go broke. So the owner is going to put a store in it. They have to do it. And how long could you keep it in court? Years. And you could depose everybody in the city, you can make a big stink out of it, and you could tie it up for years.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Roddy. I'm just concerned that we're kind of losing focus. I've been attending the grocery store meetings for over a year. We haven't gotten any closer than we was the first day we started, in my opinion. I'm just wondering, have you all entertained any other locations in the South Shore area? What makes this 71st Street Jeffrey so important that we have to have the only grocery store there when there's other viable economic developments that's throughout the South Shore area? So I think that the main concern is that the residents need a grocery store. We don't necessarily care where it's at, as long as it's in a viable area, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on at 71st and Jeffrey, my understanding. Also, if the eminent domain takes 6 months to 3 years, we've already gone 1 year without a grocery store. That means we have up to another 3 years to go without a grocery store. Tallying that up, we waited 4 years for a grocery store when it has to be another location in the South Shore area that can serve the community. So what are we doing about that? Are we going to stick with this one, or are we going to try to move forward for the community?
To answer your question, Stephanie, we have proposed to the city 68th in Stony Island because it's a vacant lot there. They have looked at that on more than one occasion. They have sent other grocers there. So we have not moved, just focused on 71st, and we've also tried to see if there was some place on 75th. Now our next idea is to just start building little small grocers in the neighborhood, promoting that. We can't do it ourselves, but promoting that. One of the reasons why we started the farmers market is a supplement for that, but it's going to grow as well. So we have things that we're doing in the meantime. This is a process. I mean, we've had places that have never gotten a grocery store that came back, but they weren't active, and we are. One of the reasons why this eminent domain process is even going on is because we're putting the heat on our folks that have the power to say yay or nay, bless it or curse it. We're not here because this eminent domain movement is not because we've been quiet. So we can't say we haven't done anything. We've made some noise, but we're doing some things. So we have to be careful how we look at the movement. We still have to go through an elected official, whether it's the 8th Ward, the 7th Ward, or the 5th Ward. So we can do as much as we can as a community. Nothing moves without that point person. Okay?
And I understand that now, and I thank you for answering the question, but as the young lady said, there's such lack of communication throughout the South Shore, throughout the 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th Ward, that every time we come to a meeting, we're only talking about the 71st Street Jeffrey location. This is the first time I've heard that you all have even entertained another grocery store location since I've been attending the meetings for
we haven't had a meeting since March or February. So there's been
Or less
Yeah.
time, yes, it has.
in terms of grocery stores. So that's one of the reasons why you haven't heard much, because it's not a lot to say. What we would like to report out are wins. But all we can do at this point is point out our little movements from here to there. That's why you get little emails that say,
Well,
this is
maybe,
what we've done.
maybe we can have another meeting where we have, where you all have entertained other grocery stores, and you give us that information so that we can give you our response on what we think about those other locations. So as a community, we can work together and solve this issue of not having a grocery store.
But we have not reached out to grocery stores, because our position really is to focus on the survey. That's why we did the survey, to kind of get that. What we don't want to do is endorse a grocery store, because what will happen is what's happening in this meeting right now. It looks like if it works, it's a win. If it doesn't work, we're on the chopping block. So that's where we are with that.
Yes, my name is Paris Bradbridge. I've been in the community over 45 years. My grandmother owned her own two-flat building for the past 50 years in 69th and Jeffrey. Her name is Jessie Gray. My question was, to you all is, where is the alderman? And why the alderman is not here to try to make some changes? I think that we need new leadership. And because she's not doing her job, that's why we're not getting the things that we deserve to have in our community. That's it.
Just to let you know, we did invite, of course, obviously, the alderman to come to this meeting and to be a part of this meeting, because it very much, particularly on this issue, very much involves her actions. She introduced this ordinance, and we didn't get a reason, but she was unable to attend, and we certainly did tell her that we were putting her on the agenda and so forth, and so we did try. So I believe that part of what we take back to the alderman is that we really do need to want to hear from her, and so she will obviously have her meetings, and so we should be a part of those meetings, and we should ask her very specifically in what it is that we're going to do next. Which I'm hearing the consensus being, we need more information. We need to educate ourselves further. We need to hear not only from Leo giving us fabulous information, but there are the contextual stuff that we can get from other people and other, not only about eminent domain, but about the development piece is what we probably need to have other overt meetings, and that would include not only from one alderman, but I'm saying it should probably be from all three aldermen. This is a regional issue. This is a whole Southside issue, but I'm saying that we need at least 3 aldermen to really be able to address this issue of the development of South Shore. This isn't just about 71st and Jeffrey. So I'm saying that I'm hoping that what comes out of this meeting is the idea that we will that we'll go and put on our websites what Leo has said, and then we'll get others to mount on the websites what they have said. We'll give you information to be able to do your homework, and then we reconvene in a short time. Although Leo has said 6 months is the potential outside time, we're going to say immediately slow this sucker down until we can get a grip on it, and we will then have our input, and so that we can be a part of this process. I know that we can do that.
Very, very quick question. Can the Planning Council host an aldermanic forum so we can hold their feet to the fire, challenge them as to their absence? Because this is not the only community meeting I've been to when none of the aldermen that are affected have been there. It's almost like they're not acknowledging we exist, very often anyway. So, and also hear about the new faces. You know, maybe having some new faces that are running from office would let us know if there is a viable contender.
Okay, so we did invite all 3 aldermen. Our aldermen, from my understanding, this is just from my understanding, I do not know this for sure, I'm not an elected official, but all the politicians have been, campaigning for the last 5 weeks, and they're tired or busy refresher. So that's kind of what's happening with that. If we had did it on a different date, they would have been here. Okay. One question and then we have to move to that.
Good afternoon, and you all may have covered this. I do apologize for my tardiness. As it pertains to the subject at hand being the Old Dominic site, I know with the eminent domain conversation, in the hearing, there was a great deal of dialogue pertaining to that, but there was never any definitive answer given from the city as to if indeed they were able to expedite that proceeding, what then would be their proposed next steps, or who or what grocers would they be entertaining. And so while I understand that we have been at these forums for many months and have really been trying to galvanize through surveys and through these meetings a plan that would really be viable for us to move forward with, this is not the time for us to retreat and become disenchanted with the process. But this is a real unique opportunity for us. I'm sure as I look around the room, all these faces were at the polls on Tuesday. These same faces need to be at the polls on February 9th, which is when early vote starts for the municipal elections. Because what's critical is we have to formulate actual definitive questions that we want to put before the existing leadership and those that are vying to be the leaders of our community, one of which is myself, so that we are working hand in hand. This, even though the Dominic's departure was very unfortunate, it really represented an opportunity for us to come together and do some things. So I just would certainly want to know if indeed we receive any answer from the city, if the intimate domain moves forward, what then would be their next proposed steps?
Okay. So, you're done. Thank you. So, one of the other things is that we're organizing for and galvanizing for to see what the community thinks about the Obama Library being in South Shore. We have a presentation on what the Good. Come. We have a presentation on what the economic impact would look like if it was in South Shore. I'm going to do the presentation and we're going to turn it over to Carol Adams so you can have your discussion on how we can organize to bring it here if that's what you think should happen, or survey the community, whatever you all kind of think we should do, we're open, okay?
Hi everybody. My name is Carol Adams and I'm on the Community Advisory for the library from the Mid-South area. And I don't know how much you know about the process, so forgive me, I'm going to talk a little bit about how it happens. The first proposal was really a response to the request for qualifications. That's when everybody from whatever city and whatever community put in their qualifications to say, we like to have the library here. And the committee cut it down to just a few. Now those few get to my proposals. So for us, it's that South Side contingent and a West Side contingent from Chicago. The University of Illinois being the academic association, institution rather, that's associated with the West Side proposal. The University of Chicago being the academic institution associated with the South Side proposal. Columbia University in New York and Hawaii. It's pretty much understood that Hawaii is not, in fact, going to get the library, but they're going to get a presidential center. So the real competition